Sometimes you have to cross the T's and dot the I's. You have to do paperwork. Today, Hyderabad has done basically just done paperwork. They've just played 20 overs, but the match was pretty much over in the first six when they were 14 for 3 at the end of the power play. It's the largesse of Rajasthan that has kind of let them get up to 149, especially in the last 4 overs. But otherwise, this game was way over. Not just when Rajasthan scored 210, but after Rajasthan took 3 wickets of Hyderabad in the power play. After that, it was all crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Hello, this is Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, 2 people who do no such thing. No formalities here, man. We get the job done. If the match was rubbish, we're going to talk about it only for 30 seconds. We're at 32 now. We're done. Let's talk about the game tomorrow.
Did you say crossing the T's and dotting the I's?
I did indeed, good sir.
And you have neither a T nor an I in your name.
That is true, but I'm wearing a T here and I have an I.
It's not that bad. The game wasn't that bad.
That time in the evening, guys.
There's dad jokes and then there's like infant jokes. This was an infant joke, like a juvenile, depths of juvenile joke. But today you could say that power play was a bit of a joke from Hyderabad, Joy.
Absolutely, but what bowling? Prasidh Krishna, Trent Bolt, we are used to. Like, he's always been fantastic to left-handers, the way he shapes it in. Early wickets, that's Trent Bolt. And, Mumbai used to look for him. Kolkata used to look at him for getting those wickets. But look at the Prasidh Krishna. Absolutely amazing. And if you see that comparison, 58 for no loss versus 14 for 3. That's your game. That's all. After that, everything else is just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And I had to say it again.
Hey, you did, and I'm sure Harsha will say it a couple of times as well. But there you go. That opening spell that both of them have bowled, that's just a dream for a captain, isn't it?
Yes, but can we look at the graphic again? Because there's a very striking number right at the bottom of that graphic. Niche, left side mein niche.
Kick the producer and get it done. Come on.
Now, Rajasthan are motoring along. They're getting past 200. And in the last 5 overs, they make 62. Hyderabad makes 72. And if I'm the Rajasthan Royals captain, I'm going to go back and show that graphic to my team and say, you know what? Yeah, it's a big win. 60 plus runs is a big win. But this is a 14-game tournament. We will go through a bad patch. We have in the past gone out on the 3rd decimal on the run rate. We gave away 25 runs too many. Way too many. 25 runs too many. But I'll tell you what I enjoyed the most about this game. Joyce alluded to the power play. Yes, Trent Bolt was getting the ball to swing. Prasidh Krishna I've been saying it now for a couple of months. He is the real deal. He's going to be your next red ball bowling star as well. But I enjoyed the track. Can you imagine when a team is batting well on it, there's pace, there's bounce, the ball is coming on, the good batsmen are doing well. And if you're not that good, the fast bowlers are riding all over you. What a good surface to play on. Yeah. I mean, initially I thought, there's nothing in it for the bowlers. But hang on, when the good bowlers bowled on it and they had the batsmen hopping.
It's very strange, isn't it, Joy, to have a pitch that's actually good both for batters and bowlers?
No, absolutely. And I mean, Harsha, great catch, because you're absolutely right. Even when Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was bowling well, or Imran Malik was bowling well, he was looking dangerous. The track had something for them. And you're absolutely right. If you're above a certain quality, this is a great track to bowl on. If you're below that, this is not a great track for mediocre bowlers. If you're a mediocre bowler, you're going to get massacred out here. Good spinners did well. Look at how well Chahal bowled. Okay, they were 14 for 3 and they were under pressure, but he still bowled brilliantly under the conditions.
Yeah, I mean, look at both spinners. We keep talking about how Rajasthan has done so well in the auction by picking up both Ashwin and Chahal, premier India bowlers there. And they've shown you just what they're made of. 8 overs, 43 runs and 3 wickets between them, going less than a run a ball. When Hyderabad had their 4 overs of spin, go for 62 or some such.
62, yeah.
And it wasn't that the batsmen weren't attacking. Romario Shepherd and Aidan Markram were looking for runs when the spinners were bowling. Yeah. So I thought Ashwin's lengths were just incredible. They were just superb. He was bowling that beautiful length, but he's the finger spinner. Chahal is getting the wickets because just naturally he can do so much more with the ball. So I think it's a fabulous combination. Only one game. We don't want to draw hard conclusions yet. Only one game. Rajasthan always do well in their first game. They always score a lot of runs.
Right.
But at the moment, it does look like on these kind of surfaces, they probably have the game. They need a fifth bowler, though. I thought Kultanile suddenly said, "मैं 50 नहीं होने दूंगा," and he went off. I hope he's fit, because they will have trouble with that sixth bowler.
Yeah,
Fifth and sixth bowler, they will have trouble.
Correct. But, well, let's look at the positive today for Rajasthan is that their first four bowlers are looking solid. But hey, that's just 16 overs. 4 overs can change the game, as we saw with the Hyderabad spinners today. So that is something, as Harsha's pointing out, that Rajasthan will have to be cognizant about. And they'll have to cross the T's and dot the I's with the fifth bowler. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, Rajasthan today, Kultanile was like, you can make out he's a true blue Rajasthani. There's this restaurant called Chowki Dani where they talk about hospitality, and they just keep giving you more and more and more. And he did that to the batsman. That 24-run over was like a gift. Like, it's like Washington Sundar, you've had a bad day with the ball. Yeah, come. Score some runs for me. Have a laddu, have two, have three. I mean, it was hospitality that I think Sanju Samson will not appreciate, because he'd look at it and he'd say, sorry guys, that was an R card, and someday the run rate is going to cost us.
But it just proves a point, doesn't it, Joy? It just proves a point that if you are just below very good, you are going to get hammered on this track. If you're very good, the track was your friend. But if you weren't, you were going to get hammered. I mean, if you look at even the Rajasthan Royals, Umran Malik did all right, but Natarajan had an off day, gone for 43. Romario in this back 2 overs, gone for a lot of runs. So, it was that kind of track where you needed to be good to get respect. Much like we are trying with Gaurav.
Yeah, but it doesn't work out though. That pitch some pitches are two-paced, I'm two-faced. Naughty. But I liked it. There's a match happening in Pune after so long, and great hospitality. It's like when you have guests coming over after so long. It's a great spread for the vegetarians, great spread for the non-vegetarians, right? You don't just make paneer pakoras and let it be. You have a full spread, and that's what they did today. For batters and bowlers, if you were good, you could completely exploit that. If we get these kind of matches happening in Pune, then wow, it's going to be a good tournament. But the pitches are going to get some wear and tear. The weather's going to change. So let's just enjoy it while we can. Really enjoyed Washington Sundar's batting. We were talking about that, Harsha, before the game started, saying what is the good position for him? Where should he bat? Today he showed, yes, Rajasthan were kind of a little loose at that point in time, but you still have to hit them.
I mean, they've got options at the top of the order, but he said, I wouldn't mind batting there. But if you need runs at the end, I am still around. I could even bat one number up if you want someone else other than Romario Shepherd to come down. It's a great attitude, Gaurav, when you think, is the game over? Now there's nothing to be done. Is the game over? No, it's not over. It's an opportunity for me to show, listen, I can do this too. And if I can just tell Nathan Coulton, listen, we'll be fun. I'll take you out for a South Indian meal and I'll get a few runs off you. You can, but I like Washington Sundar's attitude. I mean, when the chips are down, as they were in the few test matches that he's played, he's shown he's got that character. And I think he's shown, look, there were runs to be made on this pitch. I'm here. So he's done his chances no harm. He didn't have a great time with the ball, but that's why you must always have a second language.
True. Joy, I've heard of pay for play. I've heard of oil for money. I've never heard of runs for dosa. You learn something new on Cricbuzz Live every day, right?
No, absolutely runs for dosa. I somehow don't think this is going to be a very common
It's not going to happen too much. But hey, if it happens, you take it. Absolutely. Well, Rajasthan will take their big batting in the top for sure. They'll take it. It's from what they saw today. Yashasvi Jaiswal, Jos Butler, Sanju Samson, Devdutt Padikkal, Shimron Hetmeyer. All of them. This is a dream day for them with the batting, isn't it, Harsha? They all hit their straps.
And look at who the big scores came from. Yes, Hetmeyer at the bottom and a little bit of Jos Butler at the top. But Sanju Samson and Devdutt Padikkal really turned that match around. The finishing kick came from Hetmeyer, a little bit from Parag as well. But it was at the 3 and 4 that did it. And one of the things that I'm overjoyed by at this IPL, and we are now, for five matches old, there's been a good performance from Faf du Plessis. There's been one from Bhanuka Rajapaksa. Today we had Trent Bolt. We've had a couple of decent performances. But who've been the stars of the IPL so far?
It's
all been young Indian players. Isn't that incredible? It's all been young Indian players. Lalit Yadav won your game the other day. Ayush Badoni did so well the other day. There's young Indian players coming through, and so far the tournament's been dominated by young Indian players, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, and a few resurgent Indian players as well. So
There you
that's
go.
great. So here's the thing: a lot of the foreign players, some of the key foreign players are not available. But
Yes.
the 11 on the
Yes.
park is playing, and you get your opportunity. You grab it with both hands and both legs, and Rajasthan has done that today. Think about it. As Harsha pointed out, there have been many tournaments where many years, many editions, where the difference between the fourth place team and the fifth place team, qualifiers and non-qualifying team, is literally a few decimal points. Given that, this is a very big loss for Hyderabad. Given the fact that there's 10 teams and there could be yet another middle muddle, a traffic jam joy right in the middle. This one is really going to hurt them. I mean, they've gone to -3. No matter what you win, recovery from this is just a very hard path, isn't it?
It is. It's a really hard path, but I can tell you one thing. The only thing Williamson would be telling his team is, if it had to happen, it's best to happen in the first day.
Yeah.
Because then you have 13 matches to recover. If this happens on day 9 and you just have a cataclysmic defeat like this, you have no time to recover. So he'll just because they'll have to look at the positives. They have a few positives out there. I mean, Washington Sundar gave them a bit with the bat. Imran Malik did well. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar looks like the bowler who he was in 2016 when they won the championship. So, I mean, in 2018, 2019. So I think there's something there. They just need their batting. My big worry about them is their batting. I just don't see who's going to come to the party that well. If Kane Williamson doesn't fire, they're in real trouble.
Yeah, he's
Joel, when you look at net run rates, on the table, and there's a dash and an integer in front, then you're already in trouble. As long as it is 0 point something, you're still okay. But the moment there's a number after the minus, you're already in trouble. If it's -3, you're in a lot of trouble. So you need to start stringing together 30, 40 run wins or 25, 30 run wins to try and bring that closer.
Joy. Integer. इंतहा हो गई इंटीजर की. Very nice. I like. Good. अब हम आपसे और
इंटीजर हो गई रन रेट की.
हम अब आपसे और इंटीजर नहीं करवाएंगे. हम कल का मैच का बात करेंगे अभी. Tomorrow match, let's talk tomorrow match, talk also. It's a big game today. Listen.
कभी बड़े हो गए क्या नहीं तुम?
Chance
Are you going to grow up and all?
Sir, why tamper with perfection? Bangalore and Kolkata are playing tomorrow at DY Patil. 6th game tomorrow. Ooh, this promises to be a mouth-watering encounter, doesn't it, Joy?
It's a good one. Kolkata's confident up there. Bangalore would just look at themselves and say, we scored 200 runs. I mean, we weren't that far away. I mean, so they turned around and said, if our bowlers just pick up a bit of the slack, I think this is a great clash. And up front, if Kolkata wins this 2-2, look, this is a tough tournament. 10 teams, only 4 go through. So if Kolkata get that early lead, they'll be saying, come on, let's get just one more across the board and we're going to look different. Bangalore's going to say, we cannot afford to slip. We can't go 2 down.
Let's look at the personnel. Let's look at Bangalore first. Bring up their personnel and see if there's any changes that you see there, Harsha. Quite like the look of young Anuj Rawat last time.
Yeah, just pulling out that game. Anuj Rawat was very good, and I know we are milking it too much, but DC to RCB was pretty good too. So I don't think there's a problem with the bowling.
DC to RCB? Are you talking about CB to RCB?
Sorry. CB
BK.
to RCB. CB to RCB.
Yeah.
CB to RCB.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking down. I'm looking at their bowling. Look, Siraj had an off day. He's a much better bowler than that. So I don't worry. I don't think they're worried too much. Siraj will come back. Hasaranga had an off day. He will come back. Eventually, I think the bowling is all right. It will look after itself. I don't think they need to worry too much, Bangalore. The only thing they need to tell themselves is, don't score 205. It is their best score to lose. Every time they score 205, they lose.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Yeah, wow.
Whatever, don't score 205.
Yeah, no 205.
If you're on 204, block the last ball.
Hit it for 6. 210 is good, we've seen today, right? 210 is a good score. So hit a 6 then. Glenn Maxwell, do we know when he's going to be available? We saw some wedding pictures online, so that's done. I'm guessing he's probably on his way, has to do 3 days of hard quarantine. So definitely not available. Not available tomorrow, will be available for the third match. That's a big boost when he comes in, but is not available for tomorrow's game.
And when Hazelwood comes in. There's a reason I'm not being very critical of RCB, is because they've made 205 and they lost with just an over left. So there is issues with the bowling. But once Hazelwood comes in, Maxwell provides that power in the middle, and Maxwell plays for Rutherford, who wasn't needed that day. So suddenly you see Maxwell in for Rutherford, Hazelwood in for David Willey, and suddenly the side is starting to look different already.
Good point.
So I'm not too worried about RCB yet. If young Anuj Rawat can keep giving those starts, then it will allow the batting order to settle down with Kohli at 3, Maxwell at 4, DK at 5, and then it will allow the batting order to settle.
Okay, let's have a look at the Kolkata squad. They were looking quite settled in the previous game. Joy, do you see any tinkering and tankering happening? Are there any foreign players who've already come in? Is there any change from the first one? No Pat Cummins yet. Tim Saudi is here, but had a niggle, right? Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's what they say, that he wasn't completely fit. Yeah, look, Finch, they could have played.
Finch currently is playing against Pakistan as we speak, I guess. Is there any changes you see happening there, Joy?
The only person who I see hasn't really performed in that match one, if you have to look at it critically, is possibly Shivam Mavi. And I can't, they rate Rafiq Salam a lot. They think he's quick. They think he's got something. But McCullum is not usually the kind of coach who changes after one match.
Yeah,
so
that'll break the player.
He'll probably give him one more match. Otherwise, look, the rest of them have actually, all of them have looked the part. What they would have been very pleasantly surprised with and happy for is the fact that Rahane's got to start, because Rahane is also a confidence guy. The fact that he's got a few runs on the board, the way Venkatesh Iyer plays, Rahane can afford to play his natural game. Okay, and I think there may be something there that gives them a little bit of value. Rahane was a last-minute pickup at the auction when they were looking desperately for one more experienced Indian batsman. So, if he works out for them, that's a really big bonus plus for them. Right now, it looks as if he is.
He does 2 or 3 things though. Rahane is also like a sounding board for Shreyas Iyer as captain. He does that. I thought one of the big pluses was Varun Chakravarti, because he hasn't played a game since the T20 World Cup. True. So there's a bit of issue over his fielding, over his fitness. He's worked very hard at the NCA. He's not a typical athlete, so they've actually have to design a different training program for him because he's never going to be an athlete. So if you try to train him like an athlete, he'll break down. But he did what was asked of him. And that combination, Chakravarti and Narayan, to me is sort of the other great spin bowling combination along with Ashwin and Chahal in this group. So KKR on that track, it was a slightly dampish, spongy-ish track at Wankhede. That'll change. I think what's happened with the pitches is they're leaving a lot of grass. That's why you're seeing the bowlers come early on, because they're afraid that with 15 and 20 games, the tracks will all crack up. So they're leaving grass, they're watering them a lot more, because they're saying, they've got to survive that long. It's like you say, as soon as I come on, let me take out my shirt and keep, because I have to wear it again tomorrow to school.
Yeah.
When you only used to have one uniform. So they are, or 1 or 2 uniforms. So they're protecting the track. So that's why early on, you're getting a lot of help for the bowlers. The fascinating thing is going to be that inevitably the tracks will slow down and crack up. Then the spinners will come in. So we'll see both sides of it in this year's IPL.
Yeah, well, you're right. I actually I do the same. I just between our shows, I take off my shirt and I put some grass on myself and put water on it.
Once you put off a shirt, you never see it again. You're one of those like fashion dudes, right? Never wear the same thing again.
Never wear it again, even in my house when there's nobody there, right? Even then. But the whole world is watching on Cricbuzz Live. Of course, it's got to be fashion. Well, there is one change I want to talk to you about, Joy. You already have Sheldon Jackson, who's your wicketkeeper. There's Sam Billings playing there. You can get Mohammad Nabi there. Nabi can hit the ball, can hit the ball and gives you an option for a couple of overs.
Yeah, Billings over Nabi is a natural choice. I think just the kind of player Sam Billings is a very McCullum kind of player. Attacks, does everything the team wants. Also, gun fielder. He's an absolute gun fielder. KKR is probably looking at them and saying that if Venkatesh Iyer is not getting a ball, I don't really need Mohammad Nabi. Not at this stage in the tournament again.
Fair.
Perhaps further down the tournament, they might need Nabi. But the other thing is that I really fear that Nabi is going to be like Shakib was for many years in KKR, which is that playing a second international spinner just becomes tough because Sunil Narayan is always going to be a first international spinner.
True. Yeah, true. Okay, well, so that's how the two teams stack up for tomorrow. That's going to be obviously a far better contested match than today was, I promise you. But then over the weekend, we had such amazing action. There was bound to be one-sided game. And we've got that out of the way today. It's Tuesday. It's Mangal ka Prakop. Tomorrow's going to be great. It's hump day, man. It's going to be great, yo. All right. Yeah, drop it like it's hot. We're going to drop it like it's hot with the joy factor question and answer. That's our last feed of business.
Like it's hard.
And drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Yeah, like a potato, sir.
It's an easy one.
Okay.
Gaurav, you know this. Tell us all.
I love the way you said, it's easy, Gaurav, you tell us. As if it was tough, I wouldn't have asked you.
I am done. That is true, though. I am done with crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Okay?
Okay, so this is it. So basically, Nanes was replaced by Gale for injury. Saurav Ganguly came in as an injury replacement for Nehra. These were the two big-ticket guys who were not selected in the 2011 auction, came in and had parts to play for their teams. Gale, a very significant part over the next 7-8 years.
Of course.
But even Saurav Ganguly had a fun
similarities. Sorry to interrupt you. There's a lot of similarities. Just put that graphic up again.
Left arm pacer, left arm batter.
It goes further. It goes further. Look at this. Left arm pacer replaced by left arm top order batsman. The left arm top order batsman both bowl right-handed.
Yeah, both bowl right-handed. Absolutely.
Ooh, there you go. Even more of a connection. That's amazing. Maybe that can be a question for next time, right? Let's do some patterns and stuff. Oh, that'd be great. Sachi, it's great. I love decoding stuff like this. It's amazing. And they're all Sagittarius. That's another thing. I made that up.
Wow. Saurav Ganguly is great. He's 7th June.
He's Cancerian.
Yeah, he's Cancerian.
Saurav Ganguly is Cancerian.
Yeah. It's the first one that came to my mind.
As is Gavaskar, as is Harbhajan Singh, as
is Harsha Bhogle. As is Harsha Bhogle.
As Harsha Bhogle. That's right. There you go.
All the cool kids.
All the cool kids are Cancerians. Is a Cancerian the winner of our Joy Factor question today? I don't know. You haven't written your zodiac sign, but congratulations, Saranga Rajan. Are you Saranga Rajan or Rajan Saranga?
Saranga teri yaad mein la 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 la. Bolo Gaurav Kapur.
I don't know. I just रात को कभी-कभी भूत की आवाज आती है इधर.
गाली देते हो वो भी प्यार से.
मतलब हैदराबाद से ना इसीलिए.
I said because कुछ 40s 50s वाले तो गाना ही है मुकेश का सारंगा तेरी याद में.
40 50s. You're doing like really contemporary. I'm singing Drop It Like It's Hot and you're singing Saranga Teri Yaad. We've got it all covered here on Cricbuzz Live. If you're 4 or 400, we've got something for you. Don't you worry about it. All right, that's all we have time.
If you're 400, we have a coffin.
It's such an old song. It's not even coming up on Google.
Even Google can't find it. This song only Rajni sir can find. Google can't find it. Only Rajni sir can find it. Excellent. We are going to go now, but we're going to see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. India Standard Time. So whichever part of the world you're in, please match your watches. You know what the time is in India because you call your relatives here. So you know exactly what time 7 p.m. is where you are. So join us then. A big thank you to Joy Bhattacharya and Harsha Bhogle. Thank you, gentlemen. Either of you here tomorrow? No? You are? Excellent. Enjoy. You're not here tomorrow?
No, we are going to make jokes about you.
All right. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. Thank you so much and good night.